In the previous video, I showed how I made the pattern for this, transferred my patterns to fabric, even went ahead to start the sewing process. If you haven't watched that video, I'll drop the link in the description box. In this video, we'll be diving more into the finishing process for this lovely wedding dress. This includes post caging, fixing the cup, and putting the yoke, the skirt, and the bodice together. You're welcome to Kemafrit. My name is Kemi Omorugbe. Without further ado, let's dive in right away. Hi guys, I can finally talk to you guys because I feel like I have a little bit of peace of mind because I've gone halfway. Today is a Sunday. I went to church this morning, early morning church. This is past 12 and I am in the office to do some work. My sister, who is the bride, will be coming in for her first fitting. I want to drape the yoke on her and also to fit the skirt on the corset properly. I realized maybe I didn't show you guys the other materials I used. Apart from the duchess I used for the skirt and the lace I used for the bodice. So let me show you that. Okay, so you saw me doing this on camera. What I have here is the lace as the fabric right there. Then I have about 3 layers. Is it 3 layers or 4? 3 layers of tools in here. Then I have this corset mesh as the last layer. You can see how neat it looks on the inside, and on the outside we have it looking slightly transparent here. Nothing crazy. For the front, there are many ways to go about it, but eventually this is what I did. I made my corset on the corset net and some tool layers. Then I layered another tool on that complex, and then the lace was layered on it. Actually, I could have made my corset separately and just drape this lace on it. Maybe you may find it easier because at the end of the day, I'm still going to drape the lace on the cup and I'm going to add some embellishment. Let me show you something I just put up here for just visualization before my sister comes around. Yeah, I actually played around the idea of using just 1 layer of skin tone mesh just because I feel that will blend better. But then there's a question of durability, even though this is the original skin tone tool, if you like. But at the same time, once you rip it a little, you can then tear it. It's not like it is not tearable. On its own, it's actually strong. But once it has a little cut, you can actually still rip it. So because of durability, I decided to make use of 2 layers of tool. But this won't blend as much as a layer would do. So I'm really considering loosening this next stitch and, shortening one of the layers, then align the top layer to just blend in, so that when they are doing her makeup, they will just, make that area blend better using foundation or concealer to blend it into her skin. So I'm playing around with that. I haven't closed up my sleeve here. I could do that before she comes around, and this may not be the permanent look. I'm just playing around because I don't have time to bead, although I'm going to put some stones when I'm through, but I don't have time to do any beading. Beading takes time. So I got these panels. It came in like just this 4 on a stretch of fabric, and I got it for 11,000 naira. I should be telling you guys the prices, right? Yeah. If you have any question, just ask in the comment section. We don't keep here, so you're gonna get what you need info wise. If I have it, just be sure that I'm not hiding it. Okay, so let me get to work. I need to fix my cup and finish up the corset, join the back and the front before she comes around. I have about 2 hours 30 minutes to do that because I told her to come by 3. So let's do this again. Now let's fortify the center back of this transparent corset. Now I have done on one side, so you see what we have right there, very firm. I started by creating my loops, of course, then placing my modesty panel on top, and next I will go ahead with my tool, which is just about 4 inches wide, placed on fold, that is 2 inches. While I know that I can actually sew all my layers together at once, but I like this idea of having a multiple stitch at the center back because I believe it will hold it firmly than using a single stitch. When I was done sewing in my tool on fold, I placed the boning on the seam allowance. Right now I'm sewing on the left side of my boning just close to the seam I created before this, and I am sewing that down. Now I'm going to use the tool to wrap around the bone in such a way that it is concealing the seam allowance under the boning, and you have a neat look both inside out. When you're through with this process, the center back of this corset will be firm. Note that this corset is made up of layers of tools and corset mesh and a transparent lace, so it is light. Doing this will help make your center back very firm. Let me know in the comment section if you find this helpful. When I was done with the center back, I went ahead to break out the beads along the side of the front and back, then proceeded to join the front and back piece together. And here I am fixing bones on the side of the corset, just along the same allowance. And I used the same process I used in fixing the bones on the bodies, wrapping the tool to encase it after trimming the side seam allowance, because you want it looking very neatly. Then after that process, I proceeded to sew in the bones on the top of the corset. I don't know if this makes sense, but from the center back to the position of my cups, I am sewing my bones on it. I used a 0.6 mm wide bones, Ridgeline bones here. So I did that on both sides of the corset, and I'll just show you what we have. You can see how beautiful and well structured this corset looks. Now it is time for me to fix my cups, but before fixing the cups, please go ahead and cage your cups. You can also use an already made bra cup, but I made use of the bust caging technique for mine. I made use of my Duchess fabric interfaced with stay. Then I went ahead to sew my bones to create a cage on each cup. I did that on the lining of the cups. Okay, so here I am fixing the part I caged on my transparent corset. So basically I'm just pinning it all round. I want to be sure it fits in properly before going ahead to sew on the sewing machine. Once that was done, I went ahead to top stitch my cup on the transparent corset. You want to make it tiny and you want to make it neat. After that process, I went ahead to do my fleshing, or to flesh out my cups, and I'm making use of a fiber here, just about 1/2 inch thick fiber. You can actually make it 1 inch thick. Okay, so I'm cutting out the excess here and pinning the fiber on here. In between the fiber and the wrong side of these cups, you need to add either your fabric melt or your hemming glue, because we are moving ahead to the pressing table to press on the fiber and make it stick onto the cups. After that process, I went ahead to sew on the other side of the cup. Okay, so right side facing the right side, you are going to sew the top of the cup onto the caged part of the cup by whatever seam allowance you have used. I used 1/2 inch. So after the process, make sure that you notch properly, then turn your fabric inside out to cover up the fiber, like so. So you need to stretch it out properly and then pin on the curvy part of the cup, I mean the lower part of the cup, pin your fabric on there, just like I am doing, guys. And make sure you are putting in your seam allowance neatly, pin it down properly, go ahead and press, then you proceed to sew. You top stitch by a very tiny and neat 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. I eventually had to pipe the bottom of this corset, but I'm not sure I showed that in this video. But before then, here I am fitting my corset on the bride. So this is what our cup looks like. This process is very necessary because the waistline will be altered, okay, after snatching the waist. So I wanted to make sure that we have the width, the waistline circumference that she is comfortable with. Then we adjust the skirt to be the same with that circumference, if you understand what I mean. So that's the essence of this whole draping process here. And there are also many ways to attach your yoke to your cup, but I chose to drape mine on it. I just love this final feel it gives you. There's no way you're going to get it right during this fitting process and it won't fit into your bride at the end of the day, because you have done your proper fitting. Like I always tell people, fitting is a compulsory part of bespoke tailoring, bridals or whatever. It is very compulsory. So, but this is an extensive kind of fitting because you are basically making a huge part of the outfit on your bride. So I am just making sure everything sits the way I want it to sit here before draping my yoke on it. There is really nothing much to explain here because it just depends on how creative you are. So I would just like you to enjoy the process, enjoy watching the video, okay? At this stage, we had decided we were going to remove the hip part because a hip pad will make you look generally bigger, okay, those shape here. Yeah, so we removed it and we are just making use of the regular hip circumference here. I hadn't even reshaped the skirt, but this is what we have right here. I just placed the panels on there. I haven't sewn them in, and yeah, I know it looks a little bit weird, but trust me, it's going to get better. Off camera, I went ahead to sew each of these together and also changed the waistline to a basque waistline like you are seeing in this video. Yes, I didn't have enough time because I was really working against time here. So yeah, we changed it to a basque waistline. And this is what we had at the end of the day. What do you think, guys? I hope this video has helped you gain an insight into wedding dress making in one way or the other. If you find it valuable, please drop your comment in the comment section. Give this video a like and please share it as well. Thank you very much for joining us on this video. See you in the next one. This is Kema Freak. My name is Kemi Omorube. Bye.